Aloha and mahalo for joining me. I'm Janet and welcome to the Call to Create podcast. I hope you're having a great day and thank you that you're taking the time out today. And I wanted to talk about when you're first starting out with your business, what should your priority be? And I want to talk about this because there's so many things that you could do, and I've talked a lot in different podcast episodes about some of the things that you need to do in your business, and it can seem overwhelming. But I want to talk about what is the first thing, like what is the most important thing that you can do. And I'm not sure if you know or if you've ever thought about it, because sometimes you hear people saying, well, you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to sign up for this and you have to. So it can just be so overwhelming. But the thing that I want to focus on is that first thing. What your priority should be is to really define your message. What is it that you are going to share with the world? And because let's be honest, we live in a global society now. We're always on the internet and we're reading things from people from across the world from us, and everything we do touches the lives of so many people around the world, not just only in the community we live or the state that we live in. So you have to define what is your message. What are you going to talk about? Like, what is your thing? For example, if you are great at organizing, you can teach organizing. And you would want to have that topic mastered. Like, what are you going to say? Because you're so good at it, what are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about how to organize your kitchen? Are you going to talk about how to organize your home? If you're really good at that and you want to teach other people how to do it, you have to make sure that you can figure out how to go about talking about it, because you want to teach something that you've mastered and that you love talking about it. Because remember, anytime you have a business, you're going to be talking about that main subject a lot. So you have to make sure that that's something that you really, really love to talk about. Of course, yes, you're going to talk about different things to do with that subject, but you have to make sure that that is something that just lights you up and you just want to share it with everybody because you love it so much. And you're going to be able to talk about, okay, how you did this and some ways to go about it, and step 1, step 2, step 3. So that would be something that is an example of something that maybe you do for yourself in your home, and you know what works and what doesn't. So teaching and sharing all those things should be easy because you've done it. So you know what works and what doesn't, and some things to think about it. But that's just one example out of the unlimited possibilities of things that you can choose for your topic when you're starting your business, because you want to be able to attract people who are interested in what you're doing because you have had so much success with it. Because from what I know from teaching for over 30 years is that you cannot teach something to someone or anyone. You can't teach them something you do not know or that you haven't had experience with. You can't teach a subject that's just interesting to you. You can't teach anyone about it. You can talk about it, how you're interested in it, but that's really not going to get your ideal client coming to you. You have to definitely teach something that you've had success with. So don't try to teach anything that you don't know or that you haven't had experience with, because you will definitely have a really, really hard time. Now, you can be a curator. You can interview people who are expert in a specific topic or subject that you like or are interested in that you're not an expert in. But that's, for like a whole different discussion. But for what I'm talking about right now, is that when you do start off in your business, your priority should definitely be those things is to define your specific topic on what your business is going to be all about. So make sure you're crystal clear on your subject or your topic that your business is going to be based on. Make a list of all the things that have to do with your specific topic, like what you could talk about. So I'm just using that example of organizing because I have a friend who is super organized and efficient. It's just amazing when I watch her. And I've asked her to help me before, years ago, on how to think about when I'm organizing things. So that's something that you could do is if someone were to ask you about organizing, how would you organize? What am I supposed to think about when I'm organizing? You can make a list of all the things that someone would ask you and what you know about it. Like, what are the first 3 things that you would say to someone if they were to say, hey, I want to learn how to organize better. What are the first 3 things that I should do or think about? So this expert can say, well, you want to organize maybe according to easiness and so on and so forth. So think about that. Think about your topic and the conversation that you would have with someone. And, what are the top 3 things? What maybe are the supplies they could use? What things have they used that work really well for organizing? Maybe like the best way to schedule organizing, if you have a schedule for it. There's so many things to think about with just that one topic. And so make a list of all those things that you would say, and what would you want to tell someone in order for them to have some small wins as they start out, and what are the things that they can do to keep getting better at it and better at it. And it may sound easy in your head, but it may not be easy when you actually have to put it in a document or write it down. Because sometimes, well, a lot of times actually, when something is easy for you, like I know from experience, and it's all up in your head and you know it because you've been doing it for years and years, it may not be easy to articulate it or explain it to someone because it's just an automatic thing, because you've done it for so long that it's just like, oh, well, okay, well. So think about that. Is it easy for you to explain or articulate it to someone? If not, do you need help? But I do suggest writing it all out because, like I said, it may be easy in your mind, all these things that you do, but to explain it to someone, that's a whole nother ball game for some people. And what I would suggest too is that in order to really focus on your topic and how to explain it and flush everything out, all the things you want to say and teach people, is I'm sure you have a best friend who probably tells you, wow, you make that look so easy. Talk to this friend. Take some time and spend some time with your friend that, this friend can go back and forth with you and you can talk about what you do, and your friend can give you feedback if they understand what you're saying. Best friends, especially for women, we have best friends or really close friends who are so excited to help in the things that we do. So see if you can do that. Just take a couple of hours and just go back and forth and use your friend as a sounding board and have her or him tell you if what you're saying makes sense when you're trying to explain what to do and all of that. That's what makes it really fun, is when you can get feedback from a friend, because they're going to be honest with you and they're going to say it nicely. You don't have to worry about somebody hurting your feelings. The internet world can be a little harsh sometimes. So start off with talking about these things with your friend and get that feedback and try to flush out all the things that are in your head for your specific topic. Okay, I want you to try that out, because if you don't know how to articulate and explain to someone what you do, then everything is gonna be very frustrating for you, and the likelihood of you giving up on starting your business or continuing your business is pretty high. And because, anything that you start that you don't know much about can be really stressful sometimes, and it can be exhausting. So if you can get your topic narrowed down really, really well, then that gives you a really good head start in getting your business going, especially when you have to do all the other tedious things later on. But do that today and try it and see what happens, if it works for you. And I would love for you to share with me too. What is your topic and your ideas? You can send me a DM at Janet Johnston, and do this for yourself, because this makes the process so much easier. Because as your business gets going, you don't have to think about, oh no, okay, wait, I forgot what I was gonna say. You already have your list made, and you have everything right in front of you that you can work off of, instead of trying to figure out along the way what you're doing. So do this, because you have worth and value, and your voice needs to be heard, and you need to share your gifts with the world, because you were created for a reason and a purpose. And I know that to be true. I know God created us for a reason, and He gave us gifts and talents to share with other people and to make other people's lives better too, not just ours. That's why we have these gifts and talents. So share it. It'll make you feel so wonderful, and you deserve this. You deserve to share all the things that you know. And please share this podcast with anyone who you know would get great value out of listening to it, especially if you know that they're thinking about starting their own business. Or even if they're not, there's still great value that I share in each episode that can bring value to women, even if they aren't interested in starting their own business. And please rate and review this podcast. I would appreciate it. And thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Aloha.